Yo, 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 live here around the Comiverse, episode 43. We got your Crypto Vivi homies, Crypto Rain. We got Queen Vivi, the real Randy Chavez, and we got the patient Hodler. Woo! Let's go. So, who was at the New York Comic Con this weekend? I think it was Queen Vivi and real Randy Chavez.
Yeah.
Can you guys explain to us your experience and give us some FOMO?
Um, Lori, do you want to go first? Because I have a bunch of stories.
Oh, I have so many stories, but we're never going to be able to cover it, and we'll probably drive everybody else here crazy if we go too much. But it was phenomenal. So the party at the club was just lined up like there were just people lined up. It was, oh my gosh, everybody, not everybody, but there were so many people there. At one point, it was, you could even move. I mean, the club was packed. There's women dancing, there's people with a violin, there's a guy with a saxophone, there's different kind of promos running crazy on the screen. um it was insane. There's champagne bottles popping. There's David, Dan, Al was there. It was just, it was absolutely crazy. Funko was head of Funko was there. We had eBay exec there. Um, just everything you would expect from a New York nightclub scene that was just absolutely packed. Obviously, if you were a VV Gold or a logo holder, you got to go in first. You got there, you got your redemption code for the new logos, as well as you got to get your Ron English collectibles as well right up front. And then they gave you some tags for the Funko swag bags and the VV t-shirts. However, people started to steal those near the end of the night. It shouldn't have had them. And I think me and my husband claimed our last two out of the three. And the girl's like, I just can't say no to people. She was not a VV person watching the bags. So, pretty much just everything that you could imagine at a New York midtown Manhattan nightclub scene. People were having fun, dancing, singing, picking people up and swirling them around.
Is this a Randy? Is this a Randy
Yes.
story?
Randy's like, I'm gonna pick you up, girl. Let's go.
He was not the only one I picked up. My back is like, I picked up so many people. It was wild.
Now I feel
Woo!
cheap.
Bill
And cheated.
Gala! Thanks, Bill.
Now I feel cheap and cheated. Randy, I'm sure you could add on to the highlights, but that was the Thursday night party. And then of course Comic-Con went on, but that was like it was primary, but it was secondary to the parties, right, Randy?
Oh
I
yeah.
what if like Comic-Con here and the party is like here? Okay.
Yeah. So the con was great. So they have this thing that's very similar to, I guess Amazon has something like it, where you put in your card, and then you could grab like whatever you want, and then you don't really have to check out. You just go and take it, and that's it. And somehow it knows. And I guess you're only allowed to take 2 alcoholic beverages at once. I was grabbing for Tina and Tammy and Rudy and other bits, so I took 4, and I didn't. Nobody said anything to me. I think Wet Wizard got he got stopped, so that was interesting. But that was just fun. That's kind of like the future, and I can picture that something happens in like the metaverse, where you go and okay, your card's already on file. You can go pick what you want from here, and then you don't have the need of checking out, which I thought was really fun. Being able to go and share the stage with Marvel again is always really cool. They did 2 ads for us that I think reached a couple 100,000 people each, on Twitter or X. And I don't know if they'll do this at each con, if they'll continue next year, or if they'll get their own booth next year. Because generally, like David and Dan can't really hand out the gold logo cards or do anything super VV related while they're at the Comic-Con booth. They can only do Marvel VV related things, which is fine. And they have the They had the Marvel Mighties up there again. They had, I think, Jane Foster. I think they had Thor. I think they had Spider-Man. They had a couple of cool peeps. So the con was really fun. We got to meet a couple of the artists from Addiction, from the K collections came in, gave me some Pokemon cards. That was cool. So I gave her a white claw for that. And then we got actually, Lori, did you get yours yet?
No, we have to figure out how you can get them to me.
I'll just send them.
I gotta sell you and you or yeah.
Yeah, I'll send them. But
Thank
the parties. So a little bit of the parties are one, they're amazing, and there are mostly VV peeps there. And there were a couple of people from the licensors that are public that we have that were there. But there were also a couple of people from companies that we do not publicly have there. I don't think I can say who they are, so I won't. But if you have a gold and silver logo, or if you go to these parties and you just say like, "Hey, I'm Randy," you go and introduce yourself, and they'll be like, "Hey, I'm this person. Oh, who do you work for? Where do you do? Where are you from?" And they'll tell you. And sometimes, I mean, the people that are excited, they want to go and tell you what they're doing, where they're from. So you can find out what is coming down the pipeline just by introducing yourselves, and that's a big reason to go to these parties. And I met the Ultraman guys. They're in Columbus, Ohio, so I'm gonna go see them in like 2 weeks. So that'll be fun. And then Queen Vivi shoes were amazing. They're magical.
Yes. My husband, I said that I kind of wanted them, and somehow my husband arranged for them to be waiting for me in New York when we got there. So I was lucky enough to get to wear the Sea Warrior Louboutins that are featured, in our app. So I'm really excited to have worn them. And I got there, and Fendi, who is Dan's wife, also had them on, which it was like, same shoes, but that's okay because they're the Marvel shoes. And Dr. Prophet's wife also had them on, but she had the colored ones, and myself and Fendi had the silver ones. So it was just fun because I'm thinking like, I don't know, maybe those two, but us three probably would have never went out and bought those specific shoes unless it was VV related. Like I don't know, maybe I don't know. It's nice to see that the pairing is bringing them sales, because I wouldn't have done that.
So what shoes were they?
They were the ones featured in Vivi. They were the Marvel Louboutin, Christian.
Oh,
Louboutin.
You had those?
Yeah, the Sea Warrior ones.
No way.
And they go all the way up the leg.
That's so cool.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So they look like these, but yours were like silver, right?
Yeah, they don't actually make the red ones. The red ones were only for Vivi and the Marvelness of it. But in real life, they only made 2 colors, and that was the silver. And then they had ones with multi-stones. And the creator of the collection base, Christian Louboutin, said he was just like fascinated with the infinity stones and the way that looked. So those were like the original ones, but then they had them in silver as well. So that was a really nice thing. And I'm going to actually, it's so cool, the box. Now for the money, it should be freaking cool, right? Okay. When you open it, it's all this stuff, but like there's like Marvel tissue, Marvel special edition Louboutin tissue paper, and each shoe is in its own like special silk sleeve with like left and right Louboutin. So they're crazy, but so I'm gonna get my my NFT here.
Did you guys all see that Marvel also put on their YouTube channel? They did like maybe an 18-minute cut up video from New York Comic Con. Yeah, on the Marvel YouTube. So that's a first time ever, I believe. So where like VV's got a huge amount of exposure. I saw a wallet address thing, and it looked like we only got a few extra wallets over the weekend. Does anyone know if that's accurate or what's happening there? It said like 22 new installs or something, but it was wallets. I don't know if that's because they have to have OMI in there or something. I'm not really sure.
I'm not sure either. I haven't checked.
Surely we get more than 22 new VV users at New York Comic Con. It
I'm
seemed
sure.
like there was huge exposure, right? Like massive. That's our biggest exposure we've ever had. So, and yeah, and Marvel's been talking a lot about VV, and well, they didn't mention OMI, but they mentioned VV a lot, right? Like VV like center stage
Yeah,
with Marvel a lot of the time.
Randy, when I looked at the stage, it was Marvel, like the one off to the left. It was Marvel, and Vivi was like right in there beside it. Like there was no like Marvel and Vivi. It was
Yeah,
pretty
it had
prominent.
Marvel VV like right next to each other, but
Right
that's on the
next to
left.
same
That's
font.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that each year we're getting bigger. The only bad thing at the video, if you guys anyone caught the YouTube video or the Marvel's YouTube video, they had in the corner paid for by VV. Like a permanent, the whole video long said paid for by VV in the corner. I don't know why they're doing that. Maybe it's because other brands and other companies working with Marvel might be jealous or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you'd have to have something like that. Hey Tina, I have a really fun photo of you
All right,
leaving
guys.
the party.
172 new VV wallets.
Oh, all right.
That's not too bad.
Not bad.
It's much better than 22.
How about you?
So we also Marvel's Instagram, is that right? I didn't see Instagram.
I didn't see that either. That's great.
Yeah, but you know what? That's okay, even if it is paid for by Vivi. I mean, they're two separate companies. They need to advertise, and we would like more, obviously, from them. But hell, that's a good person to advertise through. Even if it is paid for by Vivi, right? That's the cost of doing business. So
I feel like they could have had it and flashed it and then turned it off, but it was like the whole video. That's all right. That's awesome. We've never had that much exposure before, so it seems like finally they must trust VB to have their stuff together, because like for a while there we were sort of like a secret to Marvel, and now they're like coming out.
Yeah, but to kind of go back the second night. I just quick shout out to the second night, because that was actually put on by one of our community members. So Sanjay actually, went through, all the coordinating, all the invitations, everything, and just put on an incredible event the second night. And I mean, I didn't think the rooftop event last year, and I'm not even joking. I didn't think he could outdo the rooftop event last year, but this year it was at the same level. It was the night before, you couldn't hear it. It was kind of hard for discussion because the music, like we were I'm like, I asked Tina, how's your son? And she's like, Vivi's #1. And I'm like, no. But it was that upbeat, no one could talk, that crazy nightclub, feeling. But then the next night was the night that everybody loved from a community standpoint. It was it was big enough, but it was intimate enough. There were couches everywhere. There was bars. There was another room. Like, I don't know. We could hear each other speak and sit down and talk about, our collectibles, talk to each other. It was a completely different feel, but it was a good feel. So congratulations, Sanjay, 2 years in a row. Great for the VV logo holders and some OGs. So great utility, 2 years in a row. So
well, that you guys definitely helped a lot with my jealousy of not going to New York Comic Con. So
you missed it.
Yes, yeah, we did. Yeah,
it's just a short flight from Australia, just like a day.
Yeah, about 20 hours or something like that. If Omi's above 2 cents next year, I'm coming. Okay, you got Omi's above 2 cents next year, I'm definitely coming. So hopefully.
Will you go to France?
Pardon?
Will you go to France in January?
I don't know how far that is from here. I really haven't looked it up. Maybe.
Okay.
Everything is far from here.
Who's going here?
It's true. Everything's far from Australia.
I would go.
Yeah. We'll go.
New Zealand is. I could just swim there. I go visit David Yu. I just swim over.
We'll have that. They might do another event in early February. That's like a week after the France one. I spoke to Foster Hilt quite a bit about
about his experience, and he said that he spoke to a lot of the VV team members. He said a lot of them really seem like they really want OMI to succeed and to be implemented throughout all of VV. So what did you guys experience with that? Do you experience much? Do you guys chat much about OMI at the event?
With other people, not really with the team.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's one of the things that you kind of want to you kind of want to stay away from, because I mean that's work. You know, you just go, hey, like I don't know, Jordan, if you went to an event and you had 50 people come up to you like, hey, what do you think the price of OMI is? And you have to give the same answer 50 times. You know, it's so I mean, within each other, yeah. You know, we were
Yeah,
like
so this wasn't any alpha. This is just basically that a confirmation that the team is really keen on it, and it's not going to
oh yeah,
go away.
yeah, 100%. So I'll say we know that they have a blockchain team. You know, we know that they have a team specifically for OMI. You know, I think it would be quite ignorant to assume that, hey, because they're merging MCP and OUP, they have that blockchain team for OMI. We should be able to assume that they have a team for MCP. And obviously what's good for MCP is good for OMI, because those, if they can make it where those points run out very quickly, they can make it where we want to spend them on everything. And the only other way to get it is by more OMI. I would say that's yeah.
So one more question about New York Comic Con, and then we might move on to the next section. So was Cavell there, or was it just his giant poster? It was just a poster, was it? Because that was hilarious. It's in like every picture. Every picture is Cavell's face.
That was so funny.
Somebody brought this. Randy, who brought the poster? Is it out like who brought the poster?
I don't know. He was in a Spider-Man mask. I don't think I saw him take it off the whole night.
Oh, okay. Oh,
It was Dr. Profit.
No.
No.
Dr. Prophet always has the black Spider-Man mask. This guy had a red one.
Ooh. Okay, I was going to answer this one. Rain, do you want to answer this one? I assume you saw the video?
Yes. Did you see Coffee's video regarding Logan Paul buying tokens from Ben Gadenzi? Yeah. This is one of the problems that Logan has, right? He doesn't vet his stuff, and he doesn't know how to vet, like, you know, that's pretty damning. Not really good for Logan Paul is the number one person it's not good for. It's not really good for Ben Gadenzi either. It doesn't seem like Vivi had a part in that, or a Comey. That was a Ben thing, and you know, I guess it fits with what people have said of why Vivi and Comey weren't a good fit with Ben. It just
we're
kind
shout
of
out
has different
Tina.
ethics.
Thanks for the shout out. Best events, epic. Yeah, so it seems like everyone's just really pumped from New York Comic Con.
Yeah. It was a lot of good times.
And I think the community, it does not hurt to inject that kind of. I mean, I know that these parties, we didn't see a huge jump in OMI, or maybe all the collectibles go crazy or anything like that. But I also think it's good for the existing community. You know, it puts a little bit more of punch in why we're all here, and you know, it just gives the community a little bit of you know, an up feeling.
It's still very much early days, and so they're setting kind of a tone that creates a culture, and that's what I like to see about this. They're creating this culture that people want to be a part of, for not just now, but for like the next 20 years.
Yes.
And so that's coming together really well. I see them making the moves that if they continue, they're going to be the number one digital asset base in the world. As digital assets, as far as digital collectibles goes, huge. And so it's exciting to see what it's doing. I was like, come on, price come down. Come on, OMI. Like, I'm hoping for the post-event, like, price to come down a little bit cheaper, even though it is in my buy zone. It's like, come on, OMI. Come on. You can come back down to, like, you know, 0.07 cents. Come on, 0.06. 0.06 is probably just too much to ask for in life, but yeah.
Awesome. Patient Hodler, how did you go over the weekend? Were you watching much of the New York Comic Con stuff?
Yeah, actually, I was following it quite a bit. Was surprised a little bit about all the comments and what was happening. Especially surprised about the Marvel appearance with the what is that little show there that they made where they screamed Vivi to the crowd and then had them scream Funko back or something like that. We see, in my opinion, just my opinion, we see them getting more comfortable with Vivi, and that was also what Corey from the Vivi team reflected in one of the tweets, where he said it takes a lot of time to build that confidence at the licensors to get more and more marketing out on their main channels, on their main stages, on all the channels basically. And then I see as a response a lot of people saying, but we only got 20 wallets or 50 wallets out of that, or 172 is now the count after the X-Men drop, which was really the X-Men drop and maybe not even Comic-Con. And I think that is a misconception that one tweet, one time will get everyone into the app, because if that was how advertisement really works, then it's sufficient that Amazon puts out only one advertisement in TV, one time during a movie. But the fact is that in the movie blogs and everywhere and YouTube, you always see the same ad all the time rolling until it gets in your head. Uber, Amazon, all these things. So it takes time for, in my opinion, for these licenses to keep to get this rolling, and then really to have this effect on the masses, that they see, okay, this is the third Comic-Con Vivi, and this is the live stream, and it's Vivi, and here the Funko is with Vivi, and the Louboutin is with Vivi, and the Lamborghini is with Vivi, and so on. So yeah, I think people need to be more patient on the advertisement side when you already see that the little snowball is starting to roll, because in the end, and this is the final sentence, in the end, it will be Disney Plus in the ad breaks or something like that, right?
That would be epic, man. I can't wait for that. That's just gonna be insane. And like the QR code that you can just scan with any phone, it'll take you to download the app. Or even by then, we were talking in our whale chat group about potentially using the web app all the time, and not using the Vivi app as much, because the web app will be so good that it'll work like a web app, like an actual app.
But I could see though why, and I've actually heard the team say this specifically, that they want to be, I don't want to say slow, but there's a much bigger benefit if you could get people to go on there. It's one thing to go on there and buy collectibles, and actually put your money in to have this digital collectible. It's going to be a whole nother thing. And hopefully this is when Disney Plus, you get the barcode. You can go in there, and then you go into this metaverse and you do these things, and that's, you know what I mean? Like, because I think like right now, it's still very, and once again, we say this all the time, but it's early in the fact it's early in the development completely of Vivi. Like right now they have their digital collectibles, but once we could like have utility within them, etc., then, that's going to be the thing that keeps people in, not just the collectors. So we don't want to go too fast yet. We don't want to get too many people yet, because they might not be interested in just turn around. Whereas if they have a metaverse and things to do with the collectibles, they might be more likely to buy and stay.
Yeah, 100%. That makes a lot of sense. And yeah, do you guys remember when, I think it was David, you or maybe it was Dan Crothers, said Vivi will just be the gift shop?
Mm-hmm.
That was sort of like mind blowing, like just trying to comprehend that
Mm-hmm.
this app that's done billions of dollars in sales is just the gift shop, and the full experience of like the Viviverse will be so much more exciting that it'll keep people in there longer and more interested, and just more fun. And then people end up buying collectibles in the gift shop, right? But I guess that gift shop is almost more like a big store.
Who are we the gift shop to, though? Are we the gift shop to those companies that Hodler just mentioned? Is that eventually what it's going to be like? I mean, I'm asking the question. Is that what you think? Like, we're the gift shop of Lamborghini when it comes to digital collectibles. We're the gift shop of Marvel. Is that kind of?
Well, I think it's more like a superstore. I think it's more like a superstore, like I don't think it's a gift shop. But I think they were saying that to emphasize how exciting the Vverse would be.
Yeah.
But that my take on it is more like a superstore. That I guess we're sort of like the Amazon of NFTs, right? That's another way of putting it. The Amazon of digital collectibles.
Are they your digital souvenirs from these different metaverses? I don't know.
Well, hopefully.
I would think so. I mean, if gift shops usually come to the end of the ride, where
Right?
like, hey, this is really cool. I want to have this. What's up, Dodger stuff? I think that, all these metaverses. I mean, let's say Ron English's Delusionville. That's the first one that was announced.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be others are announced probably end of this year, early next year. But let's say you need a Ron English NFT to get in, and it doesn't matter what it was. It could be a secret rare of Mogul, or it could be one of those fat Captain Crunch guys. If those aren't really available, let's say if this does take off and you need X amount of them, or even just one to get in, most likely you're not going to. Most people coming into the app, they probably won't have one yet. They're like, oh, hey, let me try this out. Let me rent this for $1 in order to get in, and then if I like it, then I'll go and I'll buy it, type of deal. And that's just a theory, but that's just kind of what I'm thinking.
It's going to be really interesting.
The comment from SoCal Omi Homie here: web app versus mobile. Not enough users have PCs. Even fewer have headsets. For masses, it has to be mobile. I think it's an interesting point, and it goes in the direction of what do we have right now versus what could we have maybe in 10 years or so. Mm-hmm. Because if you see, for example, in Asia, APEC region, especially India, China, and so on, mobile gaming is super strong, really strong. Like the market share is extreme, and the revenue on these mobile games is extreme. So it's not wrong to maybe assume that the first games, interactions, implementations of NFTs, even from that gift shop, could be in a mobile game or in a smaller game, and maybe not in something that you enjoy via 3D virtual reality, complete immersion, and I don't know what, $3,000 piece of headset from Apple. So I think it's an interesting comment, and I agree with that.
Yeah. The thing to keep in mind as well is the Vverse is being made to be able to run on any device, so you can run on anything. And even if you've got a slow mobile phone, the idea is it's going to be processed in the cloud, so you still need to have a fast internet connection then, but the processing can be done not on your device necessarily, so you'll still be able to have nice looking graphics as long as you've got a decent internet connection. So I guess internet connection is going to be very primary for a good Vverse experience. Even if you don't have a high quality headset, you could use like an old, like this mobile is probably worth like $200 now. Just about majority of people, even third world, can probably afford something like this. That will be able to run the Vverse, if not on the device itself, on the cloud. Well, we have a special guest. It's not David, you guys. It's Danny the Bull.
What's good, guys?
Danny. And Danny, you were there, right? You were there?
Yeah, I was there. I'm in New York, so I'm only, 20, 30-minute drive from the city. So I was there every night, Thursday, Friday, parties, Saturday, con.
Awesome.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we've got so many questions from the audience here. We got this one here. Was there any information about OMI during New York Comic Con?
No, there's no OMI talk.
Yeah. Nothing Randy can talk about.
No, nothing I talk about.
Yeah. Can we speculate on what content will be in the Vverse universes? I think is this one.
Probably the same thing. Instead of just us going over the news of the day or news of the week, whatever, we just do it in the Vverse.
Yeah, I think they mean more like the different worlds. So there might be like a Disney world, maybe there'll be. We know there's that Ron English world you're talking about. It could be, all sorts of ones.
I wouldn't
think Back
expect
to the
Disney
Future
for a
would be
while.
cool. What was that?
I wouldn't expect Disney for a while. Just when Bob Iger goes and fires the Metaverse team, it's not really a good look. So if we would get like a Disneyverse, which would be, if we were to get that, which would be such a huge, everyone would come to us. I wouldn't expect that for quite a while. like that. That'd probably be like a year or two, even if they come to that agreement.
Dr. Stuff's
Yeah,
just saying he had to
also-
stop and give us a shout out. He's on vacation. Thanks, Dr. Stuff.
You wouldn't start with a Disney verse inside of a Vivi verse when you have such a little user base. It's not a little user base compared to the other metaverse projects in the blockchain space, but it's a comparatively small user base compared to games and virtual worlds that are not in the blockchain NFT space. So I would have them really focus on the social aspect of we being able, for example, if we meet up at some point, to see the collectibles of the other person. So for example, even if it's on the phone, like me and Jordan standing in a room, and everyone is like, here, look at my collectible, and I drop it on the floor, and boom, I have this 3-meter wall statue sitting next to me, and he's like, yo, look at this, and he's the Todd Batman here, and we can both see it with our phones. Like interacting, right? And then imagine it has to work with 5, 10, 20 people, and suddenly you get a whole other dynamic at a New York Comic Con or Designer Con or whatever other conventional social event. So I would rather have this type of metaverse that is somewhat fusion of Pokemon Go and what we have in the showroom than a video game streamed into my goggles.
Yeah, it's gonna be really good when they get everything up and running, and I can't wait to get beta access. Come on, guys! Anyone ordered the Quest 3? Because Evan and I are just talking about that in chat here. He's got the Quest 2. I've got the Quest 2. Guys,
Dr. Prophet did yesterday. We're having lunch, and he's like, "Where is Best Buy?" I was like, "Oh, I don't know. Just Google it." He's like, "I want to get a Quest 3." He was like, "Okay," and he played it. He said it was great.
He got a Quest 3? He bought one already?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
awesome.
I got one yesterday.
Yeah. We can add friends and stuff on Meta. Okay, cool. I'll have to work out how to add people. I'll find Evan.
Don't message me on Meta. I never use it anymore.
Is David going to France?
Yes.
What's this?
Yeah, him and Dan will be going. I don't know how much more of the VV team will go, but definitely those two.
Do we know the dates of that yet?
Yes. Give me one second. It is the
I think it's
end of January, and it is the 25th, 26th, 27th.
What's the name of the event?
Jordan just had it on the thing. I don't know.
Crypto.
Yeah.
Crypto XR. Something like that. Sounds like it's XR rated.
Crypto. And then a week later, they might be somewhere else.
Elon Musk's event. Cool.
Fanny is also speaking at that event as well. Our own Fanny Carbonell, so that'll be fun too. Most of the stuff will be translated. Obviously, Dan will probably be speaking in English. It'll be translated into French. Other people out there, they'll be speaking in French. Hopefully, most of that will get translated into English. That'll be fun.
Speaking of that, just really quickly, I just saw this amazing AI tool you can get that will actually translate your voice into another language. So
I've heard about that.
for
Yeah.
all of us that are content creators here, we can actually make a video. Then we can just run it through this software. It'll completely change our voice into another language, and then we can post it in like the Spanish YouTube or whatever, and have a second channel. Yeah, it's insane, and it looks like it does a really, really good job. I don't know how many languages it does, but like there's a lot. I've heard the Spanish, for instance. If you can speak Spanish, your YouTube can grow like 100x of what it does in English. And I've seen.
I'm gonna get all the brown people.
Yeah, so we should investigate that. But what I'm saying is, like, in the future, like, I don't know how it's going to work, but there's going to have to be these crazy translators, just like in Star Trek and movies like that and shows like that, where it's like an instant translator that everyone can just talk in their own language and instantly translates to the other person and interprets it. It's gonna be wild. I don't know how they're going to do that.
Well, I guess that was one of the things that what's the like billionaire kid that does it? He just took a lot of what he did and started having it translated into all different. Oh my God, he's like the biggest YouTuber there is.
Oh, Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast.
Yes,
there was.
Yep.
He did that, And
yeah, that's where I got the idea of it. Yeah.
yeah, he took like his whatever 2 million followers that were primarily English and went and had it translated into every flipping known language there was, and like 30x'd his numbers or something. Yeah.
Yep. And
So now
you know what?
normal people can do it.
He was paying for voice actors, right, to translate. He won't need to do that anymore. He'll just run it through this software. It'll do it automatically. He's going to put out his videos way faster, and it's going to be way cheaper for him. And poor voice actors going to lose money, but like convenience-wise, it's just amazing what we'll be able to do in the future. Like all of our YouTube channels don't need to be in English now. We can actually start, reposting them in. Like we couldn't do this because it's live. We'd have to do it after the live stream. I'll go translate it to another language and post it up. But I can get around the Comiverse around the world now.
I wonder what happens to it when people are already speaking Spanish. Like, so for example, in Toy Story 2, Buzz Lightyear speaks Spanish for like 45 minutes because they press the SAP button on him. And he's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And in the Spanish-speaking countries, they don't make it so that it's an English button. He just continues to speak Spanish, and it's like the joke is completely lost on them. So I wonder if we're, so let's say this is an English, stream. If we start speaking Spanish, will it translate it into like something else, or will it be? Will the software just know, oh, okay, this is Spanish? I don't need
it will definitely be smart enough to pick that up.
Looks like David Hughes already started using this software to send a message to Vivi Meister and the German fam. That's so cool. Like that's going to be very commonplace soon as this software gets more and more known, that you can just send a message in another language really easily. And yeah, apparently, like I watched a few videos on it and it sounds absolutely amazing. I don't speak any of those languages, so I can't tell how well it sounded. What I need to do is get somebody to speak another language and translate it to English. Then we can work out how good it is. I'll have to do some experimenting. But yeah, the future's coming, guys. Like the future's coming.
What if they mistranslated and it turns out to be a FUD video from Jordan Riz?
Homie's going down.
It's like that ad. It's like in the movies where a girl has a tattoo or something like that, and the guy looks at her that like actually knows Japanese or Chinese, and he goes, "What why do you have soup on your tattooed on your arm?" and she, or something like that. She's like, "No, that means flour." He's like, "No, it's soup."
Tramp stamp. Oh no, I'm loving it.
So there's Lori's son just found a cool tweet. So it was Al Khan from a few hours ago that he'd shout out the official New York Comic Con, Funko. Lori made it on there as well with Marvel and everyone else. And then Funko went and they liked it. Funko went and like given support to the Al, to us. So we get that tomorrow or Wednesday we get the Funko Pop.
Wednesday. If you guys buy the Funko,
we were able to on Wednesday.
Yet.
Yeah,
I can't buy it Wednesday. Okay. But it's US only, right? As far as I know.
Yeah. Who's buying?
I have a question on this. Randy. I saw a 30-second cutout or so of a stream of yours where basically it was you and I don't know who the other the woman was, where it sounded like that Alfred Khan actually does not own any Veve collectibles. Is that true?
So that was spoken on a stream yesterday. So I was with Tammy Hanna, and she was talking with Al about the at the party on Friday. And of course, like here's the thing to say, like men are stupid. I'm sorry. I guess Al was pretty taken with her, and they just started talking. They talked for like 45 minutes, and one of the things was about like, I guess they're collectibles, and I guess Al said like, I don't really have one. I'm positive. I'm almost positive he has OMI. But yeah, there's no unless he misspoke. I just know that sometimes for technologies can sometimes be hard for older people, and he does so much for the community and so much for the business anyway. I don't know if he really needs a collectible. I think he'll get one if when he decides to get a gold logo, because he's been pretty vocal about that.
Randy, we know why. He's waiting for Pokemon.
Yeah, but seriously, maybe this is something to discuss for the round, because I mean, we have here a guy that is really helping with all the brand building, and we know how good he is at maybe getting all these brands. But at the same time, he's on board with the app, with the product Veve, and the what the licensors ultimately are producing, but doesn't own the product. And maybe that is fruit for some discussion, because I mean, would be weird if, for example, Elon Musk actually doesn't have a Tesla, right, or something like that.
Patient, hold on. I have a good analogy about this as well. Do you think Alfred Khan consumed all the Pokemon that was playing on the TV that he brought? Because I bet you he didn't watch any of it.
Okay,
Then he
so
can
let me
bring a license over, and you don't have to consume it. Right?
Let me step in right here, because I know the answer to this, because Al and I talk about this. So Al never collected anything in his life. So his uncle was the vice president of Topps and sent him raw or uncut baseball cards, tons of them every year. And you know what he did with them? He tossed them away. Pokemon sent him every brand new card from every single set in perfect sleeves, and Al put him in the closet and lost track of them. Okay.
Randy's dying at the moment.
Al had multiple Cabbage Patch dolls constantly, and Al doesn't have Cabbage Patch dolls in his house. He has Picassos, which I've seen. So, and Al is not always the savviest on social media. Sometimes, it is a little bit more difficult. You got Instagram, you got this, you got that, and he does a lot of that. And a lot of the technology, it's not quite there yet with the collectibles. But here's the question: are we really to Al's marketing to the almost 80-year-olds with Veve? Maybe, but are we? Like, maybe we should start with the 20-year-olds and maybe we should start with the kids and the teenagers and the 20-year-olds, because I think they're like going to be 99% of our target audience anyways. So yeah, but to your point, Al does not, that's right. To put that out there when it's not really yours to put out there is fine, but it's just not his thing. Now he has more OMI than everybody on that panel times like about 1,000, or no, maybe not that much, about 100. So
yeah. Okay, he has implied.
But that's a really good explanation. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
One. I mean,
and he does own part of Orbis, so a shit ton of OMI. Like if he dropped his OMI, we'd all
does he know how to store it safely?
Rain would be like, yeah, baby.
Laurie, has he converted from Go Chain, or is it still Go OMI?
I don't know, but he said he's not selling. He's never sold it, and he's not selling it.
He might lose his keys. To lose his keys.
Someone needs to look after it for him.
Wait, when it was what was it? What was its high, Randy? 1
1.25 cents, 1.3
okay,
cents.
if he would have sold how much OMI he had at that point, oh God.
He must have $1 billion or so, I guess.
God. Oh God. So, and now I look at that number and I'm like, oh.
But I need to quickly follow up on this, Laurie, because you said, like, the first point makes absolutely sense for me, like throwing away those baseball cards and not really giving a damn about the Pokemon cards and so on. All makes sense to me. What doesn't make sense to me is the argument that he is not so tech savvy and that he's not the target audience, but then he has a crypto wallet and send Bridges crypto from Go Chain to ETH. That doesn't make sense at all.
He has people.
Either you are tech savvy or you're not.
No.
I have a feeling it's still Go Chain.
For that. I'm telling you right now, Al is not the one that bridges shit to Cheyenne. I mean, Al pays people to do stuff like that. So no, I'm not telling you that he's crypto tech savvy. He's not. He's a marketing man. He's a toy man. He's a, he's a drum up the business, have the IP and the relationships with them. He is not your blockchain crypto digital guy. But he's your toy guy, and he builds collectors with his product.
I assume
Love
he
you to
got
have
his
him.
OMI from
Based
being
on
part of the
6
team.
of the last 10 best-selling products in
Uh,
history.
um,
Laurie, I assume he got his OMI the same way Dan and David have their OMI, like from being part of the company.
Mhm.
Not he didn't buy it.
That I
so
don't know. That I
he
don't know.
also has had a more active role than most other people that were, like advisors. Like let's say like Jeremy Pador, who I love, great dude. Back when OMI glitched like 2 years ago, and it went up to like $1 something, and everyone was like a billionaire. Jeremy Pador did a calculation on like saying, oh, hey, if I would have cashed out, this is how much I was worth at this time, or how much the OMI was worth at this time. So I won't give away the number, but if you extrapolate backwards from it, he would have more OMI than me, Jordan, anyone here. I don't know how much patient hardware has, but he would have more. And he's just been like that advisor that I don't think has really kept up with a ton the last year. But Al, who has continued, like Al was just at that Vegas conference a few months ago, and he's continually going and doing this stuff. If he's continuously going
Right.
and doing this, it's likely that he has more OMI than
It's it's the licensor. I mean, we want different people in the company with different roles. You can't expect them all to be. I mean, David is our collector primarily. Dan's secondary. I mean, everybody has their roles, their marketing, their business. And I don't think the fact that, someone, at his age doesn't have a digital collectible. I mean, we could have done a dog and pony show. I knew that for months that he doesn't have one and put one in his thing, but that's just not Al. Al's the OMI guy, Al's the marketing guy. He's the toy guy. You go to David, he has 3 garages. The CEO of the company has 3 garages of collectibles. So,
We have a great comment here from Dead Coins. The big IP relationships are not built at Comic-Con, they're built at yachts and penthouses. Sounds about right.
He's not wrong there, but what was good about them inviting some people to like the party is they get to feel the energy and the commitment from the community. And sometimes they don't get a feel for that until they come to something like that. So it was brilliant of them to invite some of these partners out to go to the logo holder party so they could feel that and be like, oh my gosh, these people are rabidly passionate about this company. Because that's part of what's going to drive Veve to be the biggest brand or leading the digital collectibles space. And so it was smart of them to do that, because he's right that a lot of those initial relationships, sometimes they're built on a golf course, sometimes a yacht, penthouses, meetings. They have a meeting, but then it's the after party where the real business gets done. But then coming to that was really smart move to send some of those people to that, because they all went back to their companies and like, oh my gosh, we got to participate in this.
guys.
There's magic here.
OMI's up 5% since we started the stream.
Damn it, guys!
Really?
Stop buying my OMI.
I don't know. I didn't update my app for a while, but it's 00092.
Yeah,
Ray.
and I've been picking it up, right? So I've just been picking up, hoping to buy more. And somebody earlier was mad at me. Stop telling it to go down. And it's like, it's going to do what it's going to do. I can always be hopeful. And that's just me. Like, look, the bear market gets boring. So why not just dollar cost average more and more and more? Don't buy your position. Be like, I'm not touching it anymore until it goes. What are you going to do? Buy more when it goes way high? So I like to buy as much as I can when it's low and then just wait till it goes way up. So I'm not concerned about I don't want the price to be really high for like 6 months at least, or a year and a half. That's when I want it to be high, not tomorrow, not today, not the next few months. So
I think Philip B has 122 million OMI.
Heck.
Oh man, he's gonna pass us
All
all.
right, Philip. Baller.
Damn.
Like I
Didn't
said,
know
I
that
think
he's
he's
already on
insane.
this number.
Yeah, he says it is million. Yeah, he has
Yeah, was it
122 million.
million or just 122?
It's
Yeah.
100%.
I'd be like,
He said mil.
sense.
He said zip.
Nice.
Evan, how much do you have? I don't know if Evan's told us how much he has. I think he has a lot. Well, it is really, really fun show today. We've got so many comments here. I'm going to try and go through some of these. What's this
Oh,
one?
look at that.
Look at some
Duck
line chat.
covers like, I'm a goopy, but I'm about to hit 1 million. That's also a good achievement.
Patient Hollow, have you been buying more OMI? Well, it's come down.
Thinking about it. Adding another million, maybe.
This is a really good comment. Al probably has a crank on the side of his home phone. His OMI is probably in a Trezor that his dog wears as amulet. Doesn't matter. He's brilliant.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And
Probably
You
we're
know,
pumping OMI, guys. We're gonna slow it down so everyone can buy more. Nice.
get
10
it.
million.
Get it.
10 million is a solid amount. That's a solid amount. That's what I would want minimum. I'd want 10 million minimum.
SoCal Omi Homie asks a good question, and I think about that question all the time, right? Like, really, what is the catalyst that's going to kick it off? And it's probably the Bitcoin spot ETFs being improved, and it won't kick it off initially. So it doesn't, OMI can run on its own. There would have to be some kind of catalyst where some major collectors start buying OMI and start buying collectibles. Like, you know, if Logan Paul had a strong reputation still and he went all in on buying stuff, OMI and the collectibles, and then all the other YouTubers that aren't in the crypto space started doing it, it could start a massive run. And green candles bring bigger green candles. So people don't pay attention till all of a sudden prices have 20x. It's the weirdest thing in the world that people don't look for value before it pumps. They wait till after it pumps, and then they buy high, hoping it'll go higher. So the likely story is that it will be a Bitcoin spot ETF, bunch of money flows into Bitcoin. It then starts flowing into all these other projects. And then people start getting serious about looking at fundamentals because they have all this money from Bitcoin that they want to roll into something. And then other things pump tremendously, especially the solid projects with solid fundamentals. And that's probably what will do it. But it could be some other big YouTubers start raving about VV, or they catch on, and then it spreads to other non-crypto YouTubers, goes absolutely wild, and could run earlier. Let's just hope it doesn't, because I don't know about you guys. Just I want to keep dollar cost averaging.
I do too.
Forever. I mean,
I'm so tired.
Nice. Planet Vampire, 13.5 mil.
Get it.
And Evan
great
says he's
to
going to stop at
see
10 mil.
people hit these numbers, because I remember, like, you know, a year, 2 years ago, people were setting their goals and it was like 1 million OMI,
Yep.
2 million OMI, and people never thought they'd be able to accumulate so much. And now they're so well positioned. And that goes for, you know, any crypto project. Like, a lot of people are becoming whole coiners. A lot of people are hitting their ETH targets, ADA targets, whatever it is. We're in this time where we it's a great time to accumulate and take advantage of, you know, a down market.
I like Mark's comment here. 2 million or bust. Come on, guys. Sell the house. Sell the cars.
If we're down
Oh,
here,
God. Jordan, don't. Please
Burn
don't
down the
do
shop.
that.
Shh,
Don't
won't tell anyone.
remortgage again, Jordan. You won't be able to eat.
I'll eat Omis. No.
if we stay down here for a couple months, I'll get I'll get up to 180. If we're still down in the triple zeros by the time we're ready to go to France, I'm probably not going to France. I mean, spend $3,000 to get 3 million more OMI. I love my Europeans and the French community, and I want to see my friends again. But that 3 million OMI is going to be a lot of money in a few years, and then I can go see them all the time. I'll live there for a month.
That's part of the reason I didn't make it to New York Comic Con. It's like, okay, 2 million more OMI or Comic Con. got to go with 2 million more OMI, because to me, OMI's worth, say, 50x or 100x or 200x more than what it is. So I'm like, do I want Comic-Con more, or do I want $100,000 that might be $400,000 in a year and a half? I'll take the Lamborghini Huracan over going to New York Comic Con, because that's what it would have cost me with flights and hotel and stuff. So I'm just like, you know, at some point I'll be like, no, I want the experience more than another Lamborghini Huracan. But that point isn't yet.
So Rain, let's do a hypothetical here. I know you want to get a car for every day of the week. Have you decided which cars?
So no, I've decided price ranges. They'll probably be between 100,000 to 800,000 price range per car. Yeah.
Awesome. Sounds good to me.
Wait, how much OMI do you have, Rain?
OMI isn't my largest holding. I have about 60 million now.
Okay.
So
Nice.
I don't
Nice.
love
That
it.
is
I
solid.
put in as much into my Veve collection as I did into OMI. And it's like, nah, all right. I'm really excited about where the prices are in OMI. I have a liquidity event possibly coming in another month where a huge, massive investment I made might get a decent return on that. And if it works out even somewhat like I think it will, that number is going to change as far as how much OMI. But even
That's
still,
awesome.
I'm buying another million here, another million there, another million there. And I hate buying such small amounts, but it just is what it is. What am I going to sell to buy more OMI? Everything's down.
Yeah.
It's funny here. I think you guys are all master collectors, right? Except for Patient Hodler and I. Danny the Bull, are you master collector as well?
No, I'm not a master collector.
You're not a master collector. So Randy is Queen Veve. You a master collector?
Yes.
And Rain, I think you're a master collector as well, right?
Yeah.
So we've got half the panel of master collectors, the other half are not. So,
Jordan, how many points do you get each day?
pardon?
How many points do you get each day?
Just under 800.
Oh, so you could be a master collector. You just got
I'm
to
a
put in
diamond
some OMI.
one. Yeah, diamond one. So I'm just
Yeah,
behind.
just put in some OMI on the app. You'll be a master collector, no problem.
I am still
Well, yeah,
a
once I can load up some. Oh no, I've got 10 million OMI. I got max OMI already.
Oh, so
I
you
need more
get like
collectibles. I need more
200 points a day.
Yeah, I need some more collectibles. I've been buying.
They will probably have to invent a new, I don't know, rank incentive or whatever, because I mean, look at Bezosman, for example. It's like he's like at 31,000 collectibles and still going. So probably they need something for the whales to play around. And so I'm following that wallet very closely, and also looking almost every daily stream, almost every crypto morning coffee. I'm looking at with the community, like the last 2 minutes. What is this guy buying again, right? What has
You
he
saw
been
what he
buying?
just bought today, right?
It's completely crazy. I think the last ones were secret rare of the X-Men 1, stuff like that. So he's not buying just small stuff. He's buying a lot.
You saw his recent purchases?
Did anyone meet him? Was he at New York Comic Con?
No.
Is he still a
Right, if
secret?
he was, I didn't see.
Yeah, we don't. He's
Ev-
anonymous.
I was gonna say, everyone who's watching, we've got almost 120 people watching. Make sure you check out all the channels here. Patient Hodler has an awesome what's it called, coffee crypto morning, which is really fun to watch. I watch it every now and then.
Crypto morning coffee. Yeah.
Yeah. What
Thank
time
you.
is that in US though for people? Is that like really early?
Yeah, it's probably in the middle of the night for you guys,
Yeah, so
right?
it might be
I think it's like
might be
early
for-
morning, like 4 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it might
So
be for
I do it before going
Austra-
to work.
it's good for Australians, good for people in New Zealand, people in Europe. Maybe not so good for the people in US. But yeah, it's really fun to watch his morning streams, and he's getting some good traction. We've got Danny the Bull, Real Randy Chavez, Crypto Rain all have YouTube channels as well. Queen Veve, are you ever going to start a YouTube channel, or just stay with the Queen's Court?
I don't know. I just like bumming around on you all's on channels. So I don't,
You don't want to set schedule or anything.
I don't know.
Are you having any Queen's Court this week?
Queen's Court. What is that? I don't know, because just getting back from Comic-Con, but definitely next week. Getting ready to do our charity kickoff. So
With Al?
with Al. So we got some items to that we're going to be auctioning, and some raffle items. So yeah,
That's exciting.
Yep. So I think we'll be working with Comics and Crypto as well. So that'll be fun. We love those guys. Of course, Randy's always sponsoring us and helping us out with those things. And yeah, and we'll have Al on. We'll be, like I said, trying to just get the message out there and try to raise money for First Responders Children's Foundation. So I will, I'll be reaching out to you guys, letting us know what's going on. And yeah, that'll be next Wednesday.
That's awesome. And how do people donate that want to donate to this?
We're not even there. We're not there yet. We're gonna do, we're gonna do a raffle and maybe an auction, maybe on the VV logo card. Not sure how we're working that yet. So, like I said, not this week because Comic-Con was crazy, but we're gonna get into that next week. So
awesome. That's exciting. Yeah, I went to watch your show and it was canceled. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I'll had an emergency, but that's okay. We're gonna reschedule. Like I said, I'd like to do it this week, but just so much going on. I took off 3 days for Comic-Con and I looked at my email and I was like, oh my gosh. I got a lot to catch up on.
Oh, questions for David Yu. I really haven't put together a list of questions yet. If you guys in the comments want to leave some comments of what questions you want me to ask David Yu, then when we eventually get him on, then we'll put together a little list. I assume we can't really talk too much about OMI, so we'll try and avoid the OMI questions with David Yu.
Yeah.
Did he wear his hat? Anyone see his OMI hat over the weekend?
I don't believe so.
No, I don't think so.
And Danny, did you talk to many of the VV people? Were you there?
Yeah, I had conversations with Reese, Alex.
Oh, Reese was there.
Oh yeah, Reese was there.
He was because he told me he wasn't gonna. He thought he wasn't gonna go a little while ago. So
yeah,
awesome
he said he didn't. He wasn't like mandated to go there. Like they didn't necessarily need him there, but he went on his own to see everybody, reconnect with the team, see them because they're remote. They work remote most of the year,
that's awesome.
So he was at both parties, and I saw him at the con on Saturday also.
Wicked. That's really cool.
Yes, and I chatted with Dan Crothers a bit also.
Awesome. Cool.
There's something that was I think in the whale chat. She'll be on the podcast. Miss Deuce Geek at New York Comic Con. She's going to be heading the ambassador program. I don't know exactly what they're going to do with it. I'm hoping they have some type of referral code. Hey, use my referral code, buy gems. When those gems are spent, we get like 1 to 5% of it. And it would be even better if they said these are only for gems that are bought with the web app, not the actual app, phone app. So that would be so much better. That would make me very, very bullish.
Yeah, so I think we came up with the idea that what they might do is that you use the web app, you use the app, and then when you go to buy the gems, it takes you to the web app, so that you're not inside the Apple system, and then once you get the gems loaded in your account through the web app, it goes back to the app. That might be the ideal way that they do it, so that it's not breaking any of the Apple rules, but we're also not paying that crazy 30% fee they charge. Yeah, it's pretty rough. Do you guys know if Android do that? I don't think they have the same fee.
Yeah, I think so. Google doesn't. I think they do the same.
I think
it's semi-monopolistic behavior or more like cartel behavior, but yeah.
So that they can do the exact same thing for both Android and Apple. Then it'll be a good workaround.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the only way to load up gems might be through the web app, but they might have a link inside the actual app. So you click it takes you to the web app, load up gems, and back into the app. And that way we save 30% every single time. And that would really help. And they also said if they can manage to do something like that, they can lower the cash out fee as well. Yeah. They won't be losing as much on the front end.
Yeah. That 30% fee hits pretty hard. I'd love to see them work around that so it never gets paid.
Yeah. I'm going to say the difference between Android and Apple, I think, is Android allow you to have crypto inside the app, whereas so Apple don't, but Android do. Yeah. But yeah, they still obviously have the similar fee. Cool. So let's see. I'm not sure that is $101 gems. They might drop the gems at some point, and imagine if they just did OMI only. The only way you can store any money in there through OMI, that would be insane if they did that.
There's no way.
You don't
I
think
mean
so?
that you would want it for the gem liquidity pool.
Okay, that's interesting.
They could. I think the only scenario where this would be realistic would be Bitcoin ETF, Ethereum ETF, mass ETFs on altcoins. Everything falls under. It's not a security. You can do whatever you want, and then you can go with OMI and do whatever you want on the app as well.
It's interesting. Adrian Comics says that Apple doesn't let you use link.
Ah,
So might not be a possibility to do it that way.
yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
I'm telling you,
What?
it's semi-monopolistic behavior, but because they're pretty in bed with the government and lots of connections, the U.S. Department of Justice hasn't pursued them yet.
But Rain, I think is it in Europe? Apple got taken to court and then made to now use a USB-C connection instead of the silly random, Apple only connection for charging.
Yeah.
So that could happen. Something like that could happen as well with the store, and they might say you can't use 30% fee; it's too high, 10% or something like that.
Yeah, or allow some other kind of marketplace. Oh, you're the only ones that get to have a marketplace related to your phones? No. So we're going to split up your whole company, or you've got to allow a competitor to come in and make it, and you can't coordinate what the fee is going to be, right? So right now there's only two marketplaces. There's Google or Android's marketplace and Apple's marketplace. They need to allow it to end run that there's no forcing, because they've got a monopolistic fee on that. And this is what in the late 1800s that Teddy Roosevelt broke up some of the monopolistic behavior, and the antitrust laws were passed and this kind of stuff. They haven't really effectively been enforcing antitrust behavior in the last 20 years because a lot of the U.S. businesses have got in bed with the politicians that supposedly would take care of that stuff. And when you're in bed with those politicians, they don't want to reprimand you. You're giving them what they want, large money contributions and other things. So,
Do we think that Veve is going to do a community update?
I think they've moved away from the community updates. Maybe when there's time to announce things, but we'll see.
So you guys saw the fake, I think we talked at the very start of the stream here, the fake ETF news update.
Yeah,
but you guys know
the 30K like that, and you see how hungry people are for this to happen. And when it happens, it'll kick off a little bit and people will be like, but over time that effect is going to push Bitcoin upwards a lot. And what do people do when they see massive green candles? They're like, dang, I knew I should have bought it 30 and now it's 55. And so now they get serious, and then but they don't make the decision yet. And then it goes to 62, and then they're like, oh crap, okay. So then they throw some money in, and then it goes to 90, and they're like, oh, I knew it. Let me sell off my 3 investment homes, cash them out, and buy more. And by then it's 150, and they're like, okay, and they throw it all in because they're just sure it's going to go up to like $1 million right there. And that's just what happens every 4 years.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting. You guys saw
Did you guys see
pardon? Yeah,
one second, Jordan, on this one? Did you also see the extra on this, that the cherry on top of the cake? Because it wasn't only that there was fake news from Cointelegraph and the whole replies and everything pumping and so on. It was also that Rollbit actually replied to Cointelegraph asking them if that was their wallet, their account. I think it was a Cointelegraph wallet that has put a bet before that massive price pump on Rollbit on the pump. So, and they posted a screenshot. So it seems that there could have been a price manipulation via fake news to pump their own bags. So, and that would be really, really bad. I mean, for whoever did this on Cointelegraph, obviously could be a single individual, could be a group of people, could be in the entire firm. I don't know. But props for Rollbit to post that if that is true.
Yeah.
So patient holder, I watched your stream yesterday, your morning coffee crypto one, and you talked about how the grayscale, the SEC did not appeal about the grayscale's information about the spot Bitcoin ETF. So because they didn't appeal in time, that means that at some point we have to get it now, like it's guaranteed, right?
No, the point with the grayscale one was that the grayscale trust, as it exists right now, where you can basically buy shares of Bitcoin that goes into the trust, can never come out. They want to convert this into a spot Bitcoin ETF, where basically the share is that you can. The Bitcoin can come in, and you basically settle directly in spot Bitcoin, right? And that's not the case right now. They wanted to convert this grayscale trust into a normal spot Bitcoin ETF to take part in the same filings as the other 9 that have been filed. And the SEC said you cannot do that. And they fought the SEC on this, and the judge ruled in their favor that they can convert this ETF into a spot ETF filing. And the SEC did not appeal against this. But now the grayscale one is just like the BlackRock, Valkyrie, Vanguard, Wisdom Tree, ARK
Okay.
Invest, and so on.
Yep.
So this does not mean that we will have an approval sooner because of that. It just means that they can participate.
So
in
we've
that
got
form.
is that 9 spot Bitcoin ETFs waiting to go now?
I think it's 9. Is it 9 or 10? I don't know.
There's quite a few. There's ARK Invest as well.
Yeah.
They're one of the first, I think. They might be the first.
I hope so.
They have
Well,
to be
happy
the
with
first, I think, because it always, when they get delayed, they are the first ones to be rejudged on the next timeline. So I think there's no way there is no way to get BlackRock before ARK Invest right now. I think at least no way that I know of.
No legal way. Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. And this is another thought, maybe to follow is, besides all the bad thing, that is the most likely theory, but also we have just gotten a teaser what happens when you approve, right? So we just, this was, what was it, like 10 minutes of news, and and also you have to consider the big whales with the couple of 100 billion, or I don't know what to deploy. When they hear, like, the secretary comes in and, did you hear the Bitcoin ETF has been approved? They're like, no, I would know this 3 days ago. It's like, they would know it probably like at least 24 hours before to already put some capital in. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Mo was saying that potentially it was real, but they didn't want the decision to be announced today officially. So who knows? Might be coming in the next couple of weeks. It's exciting.
I hope not. I'd rather it come next year.
Yeah, it's interesting on that. But I looked at a lot of charts, and the charts really look like it is about to pop off. Right, Bitcoin's right at that point. If you look at all the other cycles, it looks very similar to where it normally starts to pop off. You know what? It did this last cycle. I remember it was around November. It started to just creep up, and by December it was flying up. So we're halfway through October. It's actually pretty close. It's maybe just a little bit ahead of last cycle. And I know the 4 years isn't perfect, right? It's not always 4 years. It's sort of like 3.8 years or something like that, or 3.10. 3.9 years or something like that for the Bitcoin halving cycle. So this, it would make sense if it did happen very soon. We also have a few comments here saying that we need to get exchanges. We've got one here. Sure, need a Coinbase. I don't know if we need Coinbase listing. We definitely need Binance.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get Coinbase. I think there's so much scrutiny on Coinbase, and they'd be super selective about what they list moving forward with the lawsuits. And I think VV's also, with the uncertain regulatory cloud hanging over the space, they've said that they're most likely would not list on an American exchange.
Yeah, well, we get Binance and maybe Kraken and a few other ones.
Yeah, KuCoin,
which is fine.
Yeah, KuCoin and Binance, those two alone pump it like crazy. And then I've heard that once we get the big ones, all the little ones will just list us because they want the volume.
Yeah.
So You don't need to worry
You
too
see
much
the
about it.
FOMO come really strong for OMI, and it will be real easy for them to get on even the big exchanges. The big exchanges will probably even approach them if they're, and I know they've already talked to them, but at a certain point, even the big exchanges don't want to miss out on that trading volume. And so they'll waive their fee or their liquidity fee. So a lot of it is, there has to be some money behind the scenes for that provides that liquidity. That's why there's always orders on the market when you go to Bit4X and you see all the numbers shifting around. That's the market maker making that, and it takes money to do that. And so they usually require the company to put up $500,000 or something that provides that liquidity. But if they really want something, they'll just provide the liquidity themselves because they want all the trading fees.
Hotbit is huge in Korea. That's cool. And Binance for sure. Well, we already know they did the Binance New Zealand interview, right? That was just like a little, and David was wearing the hat. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Yep.
David was wearing the OMI hat. Like that's a pretty clear signal that
Yeah, that was
when
right
the time
after
is right.
Hello K went on a rant about how Omi was secretly going to be killed silently in sleep as Vivi cut itself off and became independent. And all
I
the
assume
Omi-
Kay wasn't at the Comic Con. Did anyone see him?
No.
He was
He
the
doesn't-
guy in the mask holding the Cavell sign.
He didn't want to get beaten up.
You know, it would be funny if that was Cavell doing it, right? And he just couldn't show his face, right?
Genius.
Like, I'm too embarrassed to show my face, which props to him if he did that.
That
And
would
Kane,
be
right?
genius.
I'd be
I would have to say, you know, that would be cool. I'd applaud that a lot.
more
Surely
impressed
somebody
when he got into
recognized
the
his
party.
voice. He's got a unique voice. Surely someone recognized his voice if he was talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
He would be like, it worked. They're all talking about me at the Vivi party. Perfect.
Master marketer.
That would come like on the same level, like doing a reaction video to his own video, something like that.
So Inception meta.
What if he did a reaction video to reaction video of a reaction video?
He did that once with the kid that has a Lambo, Cody.
Cody Thrive.
Yeah, they were going back and forth, and it was like 4 different reaction videos. Like, whoa, this is so meta.
That's funny.
That was funny. That would be hilarious if he was like, yeah, I was at the party and you guys all saw me.
Well, Mark is saying the Spider-Man mask didn't talk at all. So
So maybe it
Could
was.
have been Cavell.
You know what I find interesting, and this just comes through experience, not just the market cycles of crypto, but before this, real estate and other investment cycles. This is just how investment cycles are. We're lucky in crypto that they're so condensed. And so VV collectibles play into the crypto market cycles, whether you want it to or not. As crypto pumps, then people are becoming aware of digital collectibles because it uses cryptocurrency technology, blockchain combined with cryptographical encryption to make these provable collectibles that everyone wants and loves, but most people aren't aware of this. So as awareness grows, because Bitcoin takes off, then people get into Bitcoin, they start to become aware of other things, and then everything else pumps. Well, in crypto winters or these bear markets, like, people just lose faith because they just don't know what they don't know. And so they think they're being novel or they think they're being new by fudding on things on the bottom and saying it's never going to work. And they don't realize that, like, this has happened since the beginning of any kind of market. And they're not new and novel and they're not special. And they're just actually being dumb. And they're being part of the 95% that wash out during the bear markets. And then they're like telling the 5%ers how dumb they are. So yes, we would welcome Cavell back. He'll probably just eat some crow. Hopefully he's humble enough to do that and just be like, well, shoot, I just didn't understand what I didn't know yet. And now I get it. Cool. And it would be beneficial for his life because, like, right now, is it good to buy collectibles in OMI? I don't know. Do you like to buy cheap or do you like to buy expensive? Because I like to buy cheap. I like to sell when it's expensive. Call me crazy, but that's what I do. So am I selling now or being like, oh my gosh, they're taking too long, I'm going to sell everything. Darn them. I'm out of here. I'm taking my ball and going home. Or I'm like, cool, stay cheap for a while. Gosh, okay, I'll just keep picking up. Then when it gets all expensive, people are being like, oh, why aren't you making OMI videos? I'm like, OMI just hit $5. Like, where is it going to go from here? What do you
And
want me
here's
to
the
do?
thing, Lorraine, just like
Yeah, I'll
people,
be showing you my, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday cars, and I'll be doing lifestyle videos. And people are like, why are you covering crypto? It's like, because I'm selling it all. I sell high. I don't buy high. So why would I tell you guys to buy when the prices are high? No, right now is buy time. Right now is go time. Right now is squeeze your expenses so you can buy more. If you're, some people don't care about life-changing wealth. I do. I grew up poor. I found when you're poor, you don't have a lot of chances, a lot of opportunities. A lot of doors are closed to you. I didn't want those closed to me. I wanted more opportunities. I wanted more decisions and discernment of what decisions I could make in my life. And so that comes through wealth. Well, the smartest way to get wealthy is to find ways to make your money work for you. Because you can work twice as hard. That's cool. Work twice as hard so that you have more money, but learn how to make that money work for you and grow into something that's substantial. And then that changes your life and that changes your options. Oh, you want that really cool car? Okay, you want that Escalade with the big wheels? Okay, you want that Ferrari? You want that Lamborghini? Oh, you want that as your Tuesday car? Well, yeah, welcome to the family. Maybe someday we'll have a party for just those that have a car for every day of the week.
Just like the underwear.
those people that that you talked about, that they buy in really high because they just see it going higher and higher and higher.
Or they think that it will,
It's
right?
the same thing with the low, right? They see it
Yes.
going lower and lower and think it's just gonna keep. So, oh my God, I better get out now because it's never gonna end.
Well, there's a psychological principle for it called recency bias. And I jumped deep into the psychology of why we do the things we do when I was in real estate. And I was just astounded by like people make the dumbest decisions all the time. So I started studying psychology. And so this is a psychological term called recency bias. What has been happening is going to continue to happen, is what we think. So the price has been going down. So what do they think? It's going to continue to go down. But those with vision know, no, stays down for a while and then it goes up massively. And so, Crazy Dan said it. I know Crazy Dan said, crazy crypto rain likes to buy low and sell high. And it seems so intuitive. And yet so few people do it, because what they do is they buy high praying it will go higher. Why? Because their recency bias says it's going to continue going up because it went up 100x. It's got 100x again from here. But the numbers just can't play out that way. And it doesn't happen. And then it reverses on them. It goes way down low. And because of a humility problem, they don't eat crow, dig into the research and say, oh, crap, I messed up. This whole recency bias thing. Shoot, now it's cheap. I'm going to load up. I'm going to put money into it. I'm going to keep dollar cost averaging so I can catch the next wave up. That's not what they do. They run around screaming that crypto's a scam and that OMI this, and I'm so frustrated that they're making these decisions. It's all their fault. They project all the blame instead of taking on, okay, I just didn't know what I was doing. They find somebody else to blame so they can disown it, and they stay stuck in their lives financially. And I see it over and over again. And I think every day, like, how do I help people interrupt this pattern? How do I do a pattern interrupt on people? That's what I think about, because I already know this works. I've been in crypto for 6 years, changed my life financially in 2021. And it was amazing. And then all of a sudden, some people who hadn't listened to me started listening to me. And they're like, holy crap, you're a millionaire? What? And I'm like, oh, yeah. Remember that I was trying to have that conversation with you and you like stopped me at like 5 words in because you heard the word crypto? Well, yeah, that. They're like, oh, I thought crypto was a scam. And it's like, because you didn't even listen to the conversation. You weren't interested. So I know that this stuff works, but I know that people chase green candles. And how do you pattern interrupt that so they don't end up in a terrible place? Because this is like the greatest opportunity that I've waited for my whole life, where I actually had a position that I could take advantage of it. Oh, yes. And I was not going to miss this. What I lost sleep about in 2018, 2019, 2020 is I was thinking, how could I make more money like every day? Like my job, I had some bonus potential. I was working my butt off. I was like, okay, they gave me this thing that per quarter I could get a $5,000 bonus. Oh my gosh, they're like, oh my gosh, you got the quarterly bonus. I'm like, yeah, man, get the next one too. What are you going to do with that? Why do you never have money? It's like, oh, it's not that I don't have money. It's just all going into that crypto thing you don't want to hear about. Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool. So I put away as much as I could into crypto. Yeah. I would say this works, but there's another component to it. You can't buy shit. So I don't throw money into Dogecoin or Shiba Inu. And yes, they could pump. I just have no bearing on whether they will. Has to do with Elon Musk's tweet schedule. And I don't know what his tweet schedule is going to look like related to meme coins. And so I have no ability to gauge that. OMI, you have a company with a product that is gaining traction. Digital collectibles are going to go huge. And so it's just a smart strategic bet. It's one of the best bets in crypto that I see right now. And that's why OMI's my number one pick, because like there are some things that could go wrong from here and the bet on OMI could fail. It's just the chances are much lower than almost everything else in the crypto space. And yet the potential ROI is still really high. So that's why OMI, I'm like crazy about it. And that's why I didn't go to New York Comic Con. I'm like, man, that's $2 million OMI. I'm going to get.
Do you want to mention your course as well, Rain?
Yes, I do have a course called Zero to Crypto Hero. It's probably worth about $4,000. Right now, it's literally $99. It costs $200, but if you use the Rainmaker code, there's a discount code in my links that you can put that in, and it's only $99. I only worry that it's too cheap because the truth is people value it according to what they paid for it. So if they paid $2,000 for it, everyone who paid for that would like use it like it's a $2,000 program. The problem is when they only pay $99 for that, that's less than a cheap seat at a Taylor Swift concert. And so they don't take this stuff seriously because they don't realize how much it's going to change their lives over 4 years. And over 8 years, if you stay in crypto for 8 years and you're making smart decisions, I don't know why you're not a decamillionaire unless you're screwing it all up.
Awesome.
But there are lots
Thanks,
of people
Rain.
that are going to be in crypto for 8 years and they're not going to be anywhere near that because they're chasing meme coins or they're just not doing the right things. And can we all agree if you don't do the right things, you end up with poor results? And it's not that it doesn't work. It's just you weren't doing the right things.
That's amazing, Rain. I really appreciate that view. I actually have some like real life experience with some people recently that they came into some money, and I was explaining to them a lot about crypto. I've been talking about it a lot and explaining things and showing charts and all sorts of stuff. Right, plenty of information, and they're like, "Oh, it's too risky. It's too risky." What do they do with that money? They go and they buy some stuff brand new, like a new car and stuff that they don't necessarily need. Yet buying crypto is just too risky. Like it blows my mind. I'm like, you could have bought that car secondhand for half the price and put the other half the money into crypto, which is going to go up over time. You know, even if it does, break even or go down a little bit, like long term, as long as whatever you put money into doesn't go bankrupt, it generally goes up investing. So it's crazy that so many people just don't see that the risk is worth it, right? That's my
What's
opinion.
funny is you are going to hear from them when Bitcoin goes over 100,000. They're going to be like, "Hey, Jordan, tell me some more about this." Then they're going to sell that car that they bought for half of what they paid for it, and they're going to FOMO in at highs now. OMI might be like, I don't know, 10 cents by then. And they're going to want to buy OMI at 10 cents, which it's way more risky. Like maybe it goes to $5. It's got a, better than a snowball's chance in hell that it hits $5, but it's not very good. Buying at 10 cents, it's already gone up a lot. Like, is it going to keep going up? I don't know at that point. But yet that's when they're going to want to hear all about it. And they're going to want to know, and they're going to sell their car for half of what they paid for it and be like, "Jordan, how do I get on Bitforex or whatever exchange that you're on at that point?" Right?
100%.
Yeah.
We got, I don't know how you say that name, Aldressly Heavenly.
Elvis Sally.
Yeah. What's up? Thanks again for doing these. Great discussion. Also, that was not Cavell holding the sign. Would be funny though. That would be an epic. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna come to one of these. I'll just have like a full-on mask suit, and I'll just have like a big picket of myself. Such a funny idea.
I want Cavell to come out and claim that because that would be epic. Yeah.
That would be epic.
Even if it wasn't him.
He kind of put himself in a rough space, right? And he's just new. He's young. And he just got ahead of himself, which is cool. Like we've all done that. We've all been new and young at something and just gotten ahead of ourselves, right? So
is he young?
He's in his 30s.
So maybe not age-wise young, but
Oh,
young
okay.
in another way.
Maturity.
Okay,
Business understanding young.
there you go.
Oh
Okay,
my
I
God.
got you now.
All right, so I usually like to wrap up after around an hour and 30 minutes. So if we could go around and everyone give their last sort of parting goodbyes and what they think everyone should walk away with, a little bit of information. Queen Vivi, do you want to go next?
Should we do patient hodler? He's got to go.
Oh, patient hold that? Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
I see the private
Oh
chat.
no, I can do we can do those 2 minutes, no problem.
All right. Queen Vivi, what do you want to leave everybody with?
I just want to leave everybody with, if you do get the chance to go to one of these events somewhere, try to take the chance or try to seize the opportunity, because it's really a great time. And not, don't overextend yourself. Don't put it on your credit cards. But if they come somewhere close, try to make it. I think you'll really enjoy it.
Awesome. Danny the Bull?
Yeah, just keep grinding, keep working, keep learning and building during the bear market. And I love this whole weekend was great. It was dope meeting everyone. Met a lot of people who were in this chat. I'll spend a lot of time with him on Thursday night. And I love that Vivi's building during a bear market and having these partnerships that I think will bear out some good long-term results.
Awesome. Randy?
To kind of piggyback on your guys' things with the parties, quick blurb. I was at Central Park on Sunday, and I just paid it. There was a troubadours, one was playing like sax, one was playing violin, and I was like, hey, just can you play Canon? Canon D. And they started playing, and a couple people gathered around, take videos, and it was good. But there was a lot of other people that kind of walked by, and it kind of made me sad that people didn't appreciate the beauty of songs that lasted centuries. And I think that some people that kind of get exposed to VV, maybe that they get exposed at the wrong thing, and they go and their first impression of VV is somebody doing or saying the wrong thing, like, oh, okay, this is what the VV YouTubers are like, and it's not good. I would recommend people go and be part of the fam, go to those events. People act different in real life than they do online, usually in a better way, and sometimes people make mistakes, and hopefully those I think that the vicissitudes of the last few years will be rectified once OMI and BB go up a little bit. I would say give it 6 months. I would say there's a lot of announcements to come, and you'll be happy you got it now. Not financially.
Awesome. Thanks, Randy. Patient hodler?
Yeah, my thought is more on the entire crypto space. Today was a 5-minute teaser of what is in front of us. The God candle that evolved into a God wig, but it's coming, and it right now is the most difficult time that we can go through. And after that, exactly that from the teaser will be frequently happening.
Awesome. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed this stream, guys. Thanks so much for coming on this. I know, like, Patient Hodler, for instance, it's like middle of the night for you. And,
Yeah, 1:30 a.m.
I know, all the guys that were new at Comic-Con, you guys are all recovering, right? So you put a lot of effort in coming here. And Crypto Rain, you're always coming almost every week. And it's really, really awesome to hear your view and your experience in this space. And yeah, really appreciate it. Make sure everyone, like everyone here, subscribe, smash the like button, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Bye,
What's our final
everybody.